Raichu, dressed up with its Santa hat, will join the amazing Open Great League format, and let's see what we have going on for today's video, because we're starting off with a very bad lead. We are not gonna use Brick Break at all. Instead, we're gonna use the new move that was added this season, I believe, with Trailblaze on its moveset, having Wild Charge as our heavy nuke and of course Volt Switch as our fast attack. So with that said, now at the back we're gonna pair up our Santa Raichu with the amazing Serperior, which is pretty great for the current meta of Open Great League, and of course Sableye, which as you can see here can pull off a lot of work even against those fairy types. So I know here that I can farm down if I can block for the final time on this battle, and right after we have a double foul play to kinda threat down this Bastiodon. All I want to do here is to do cheap damage, since I do not have a clear answer for the Bastiodon, so instead I want to rely a lot on the synergy that my Pokemon can throw in between. So here comes now the Stone Edge, big damage on my Pokemon, and at the back they have a Dugong. I know they're gonna block the first one, but I cannot risk it, to be fair. So here comes now the Frenzy Plant on the shield, and right after we can survive the falling super effective Icy Wind. But the big news for them is that they can apply the debuff. Hopefully, before we faint to those Ice Shards, we can definitely guarantee a nice damage output on their end, and right after the Wild Charge to finally put that nail in the coffin of the Bastiodon. Let's start off with a heavy victory, and a pretty good one on this content. Into the next battle now, and of course being an electric type means that you're gonna be afraid of the ground types and obviously those mud boys. However, we have an ace under our sleeve, and that is Trailblaze. Of course, we do not have to go all in that early into the battle, so switching out and rotating around our safe switch is gonna be our main priority over here. So here comes now the foul play on the Skarmory. They're kind of obliged in using a shield here, but we are already there on that second foul play. Down they go eventually, and now we have the upper hand with our Serperior over that Whiscash. Of course, right here they can do a lot of work with their Gridden, but we can win the CMP, and that is absolutely insane for us. Trailblaze here on our Pokemon, we do not care at all, and now they're gonna throw another move. I know this has to be just a body slam, we can survive it even though they come after a Trailblaze, and we're gonna use our own Trailblaze here on the Mud Boy for massive damage, and to my surprise they survived that one. Doesn't matter at all, Serperior can return into the battle and start doing some heavy work against my opponent, and eventually we can take that victory. Into the next battle now, and Dragon types alongside those steels, and of course that ground typing is gonna be another weakness that our electric mouse is gonna have up in front with its Santa hat. Even if it doesn't have a Santa hat, yeah, the weaknesses remain the same, but of course it is much better to have for the visual contact that Santa hat on your right. It looks much more cute. So with that said, now we're just gonna go down to that Skarmory, and I know that I can easily survive here, even though they can reach to a charge attack, resisting anything they're gonna throw. We're gonna be in a very good spot, completely farming down, and of course even when we're facing a Pokemon like Dragalge, which can resist pretty much anything we can throw, we still have that Wild Charge which can do so much damage at them. Already below 50%, just gonna switch out, and now we have the matchup with the Medicham. So this Pokemon is always troublesome for the meta of Great League, but this season not so much. It doesn't rely a lot on those psychics, so you are not gonna see a lot of Medichams around. However, for this particular instance, we can still rely on our Serperior and the Aerial Aces to finish off this Pokemon, even though they have a few of those Ice Punches ready to go. My final shield goes down, so it all depends now if we can switch out right on time, and yes we can, with a Wild Charge to shut down this amazing Dragalge out of existence eventually, and we can take another big victory. Another Dragon type, this time against this Dragonair, but to be fair, we're having not only a very bad lead, but also a nightmare switch in against that Carbink. So Carbink is also a Pokemon that was kinda nerfed passively this season, since its counters kinda rose up in popularity for the meta of Great League. So with that said, now we're just gonna go down pretty easily with our Sableye down to that Carbink. It doesn't matter, we still have the Wild Charge which can do massive damage on their end, and before they do anything weird, I'm just gonna block here and then try to get my hands onto another wild charge. I know that this dragon type can resist a move, but it is a shadow overall, and look at the damage output, able to farm down in the process with our Serperior, and now we have another battle of the edges against the Medicham at the back. So now they have the upper hand with those shields, but can we finish them off right time? I know that at some point I might be obliged in taking one Ice Punch, so I decide to take the first one, and right after I will just block the second, which ends up being just a power up punch. So well played for my opponent, and right here I'm just gonna get to the double Aerial Ace, but I doubt that this is gonna be enough to knock out the Medicham, and we're gonna fall short against this amazing trainer. So well played to my opponent, and let's move forward into the next battle as we finally get kind of a decent lead on that format of Great League. So all I want to do here is to block the first one and then try to get one more Volt Switch, a couple perhaps, and then get to a double Wild Charge. Okay, I see you, Raichu, and then another Wild Charge before they do anything weird right on the CMP to guarantee the knockout, but they decide to block, which is pretty big for me at this point. Down goes now my Raichu, but we have the upper hand with the shields, and Sableye can definitely go in, farming down all that energy, and now at the back they have a Poliwrath. Under normal circumstances, with a shield at least on the side of Poliwrath, they can have the absolute upper hand, especially if they can go ahead and debuff me first, but on this incident that they have no shield at all, and we can apply that return, the damage output is amazing, so Poliwrath cannot stand a chance. Now Serperior can easily go in, start tanking all that energy that they're gonna throw with their Cresselia, and of course I can answer back at them with heavy hitting Frenzy Plants. So here it comes the first one, and one more to guarantee the knockout against that Pokemon. I know that they still have the Poliwrath, but to be fair, they have only a sliver amount of HP, and we're just gonna take it out of the way pretty easily. Into the next battle now, and we're having a Carbink up against us. So Raichu with the Santa Hat will just do a lot of work now with Trail Blaze. So you might be wondering, Ganeto, why are you throwing here the Trail Blaze? Obviously, Wild Charge is gonna be much better since it might not be super effective, but still does a lot of stab damage. Well, the answer for that is that I do not want to get my hands on the Wild Charge that early, because I will get debuffed on the defensive side, and as you can see here, we can easily grab both of my opponent's shields out of play after going first for that Trail Blaze. So Raichu definitely an underrated Pokemon for the current meta of Open Great League. So here comes now the switch out to that Dewgong, but first we're gonna throw a massive super effective Frenzy Plant on their end. So here comes now a move, it is gonna be just an Icy Wind, I know that, I'm just gonna expect it, and of course right after I will go for the CMP, meaning that I have a lot of energy to store up for the next one, because I can get out of this Dewgong battle with at least one foul play worth of energy stored up. Here comes now my return for the Poliwrath, massive damage once again, but unfortunately for me they can easily farm down. However, the battle is not over yet, we have to block no matter what here, able to farm down. Now they return to the battle with the Carbink, and hopefully for us we have whatever it takes to finish off with a simple Frenzy Plant that poor Carbink out of existence, and we can take that victory. Into the final one now, trainers, and we're having up against us the Metal Trascan. Santa Hat against Trascan, who can win here? Let's get it with the holiday season and a little bit of electricity. So Wild Charge is all we can do, and at this point I do not care at all about the debuffs, because I know that a single nuke can absolutely destroy me down, while all I have to do here is to go ahead and spam those Wild Charges, since I know for a fact that even though I get debuffed, those Locons will always deal just one damage, so this can only work towards our advantage. Here comes now another Wild Charge, this time for the knockout on that Registeel. They have a Medicham, and also they have the Azumarill. I know here that my Serperior is gonna be the key, so that's why I switch out to my Sableye to check their third Pokemon, and at this point I'm just gonna go for that cheap move and of course the foul play. The Azumarill can still survive to my surprise, but but to be fair, we were expecting it, okay? Not that much of a surprise. I kinda outplayed myself over here on the commentating. So here comes now the RLAs for some cheap damage on that Medicham, and of course the weird combo to finish off Medicham in a weird wild charge, and we can take this victory to guarantee a fantastic ending to this video. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my content, and with that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I hope that you have an amazing holiday season.